Hello, and welcome to Who Fucking Cares?
The podcast.
The podcast. What is going on here?
As usual, we're having technical difficulties.
It's whatever. He's always complaining. It's a ragtag operation. If the sound is delayed or clippy or choppy,
or if one of the mics is off, there are two mics total.
Two mics.
Sometimes.
There should be. Last time we had a little snafu, and I fucked up and didn't have his mic on.
Only 50% of our mics were operational.
Yeah. We'll get the hang of it. It's a very slow learning process. And one day we'll get it down. God, the dog's right under me again. I've moved this dog four times.
She is in a good place.
Dog, I can't have you on my feet. I really can't have you on my feet. It's really aggravating. All right, cool.
Raymond
Who fucking cares? Yeah,
animals.
Live. We finally over on YouTube. They used to have it so it was I guess 1,000 followers to do a live event, and now they don't. So we're over on YouTube instead of on Twitch TV because that was too specialized for video games, and our main focus is movies, so we decided to move over here.
Yep. Now that we have all these followers.
We have all these followers? We have 3 people watching it said they probably already tuned out because of our initial
great intro.
So, what are we going to talk about, guys? Bradley?
Well, the plan is to do a March Madness themed bracket for superhero movies in the next month because we've been debating furiously the different superhero movies and their franchises. And what are you doing? What is it you do?
I'm checking some stuff out. I was making sure everything's running smoothly. It's no big deal. You focus on talking and being handsome.
I hate you. So,
Superhero Showdown is our first BRACKETRON. We're going to watch a bunch of movies. We got 16 movies picked out.
Sweet 16.
Sweet 16.
Yes.
We're going to watch them all, grade them all, and crown a winner.
Yep. Yeah, we had quite a time narrowing it down to our
it was horrible.
top 16.
Horrible. There's just so many goddamn movies.
There's a lot.
And trying to be fair to old movies is the problem. Because you want to try and pick the best ones, but then again, it's like, you have to put your mind in that mindset of seeing it years ago because, you can't put something like The Dark Knight up against fucking the original Ninja Turtles. It's just not good. It's not a fair fight.
It's not. At the same time, I think one of the goals for doing a bracketron is that, the layperson could come in, look at our results, watch all the movies, and kind of agree with what we say.
Yeah, hopefully.
Because otherwise, we're not doing a good job. Because if we say, Superman 4 Quest for Peace is, better than Batman Begins because it had, because at the time it really wowed me, and, we're going to really fuck some kid's life up, and we can't have that blood on our hands.
Oh, God.
But so that's sort of a challenge.
What a movie.
Yeah. Yeah. But, these are the things we deal with.
So, along with watching and grading each movie, we're also going to do, like, awards for each movie, and most of them are probably going to be stereotypical. If anyone has any ideas for decent awards, we could allot these movies. That'd be cool to get some feedback.
Or alternative Oscars.
Yeah, we're having trouble being creative in that arena.
Well, we started it in the middle of Constantine last night.
That's true. We were watching that movie, which holds up way better than I thought it did. It's a fucking pretty badass movie.
They did a great job, and of course we'll get into that.
Yeah.
Whenever we get to that matchup, but yeah, it's been interesting. We just camped out last night with a big stack of superhero movies and got started. But it's daunting, man. I underestimated how much.
Your mic was still on. I'm going to keep checking that occasionally now.
Good. Good. I appreciate that.
Whole podcast where I didn't have it on.
Yeah, it's daunting. I'm impressed at how much work it is.
watching a bunch of I'm
Well, I mean, 16 superhero movies. And I'm not the biggest fan of superhero movies, which is one of the reasons we kind of got started on this, is to kind of prove me wrong and be like, these are really valuable, great movies. But at the same time, if you had war movies, I don't want to watch 16 war movies back to back.
I can only think of like 2 that I wouldn't mind watching. Like, what's Full Metal Jacket and Saving Private Ryan.
Oh, Thin Red Line was good.
Never seen it. I just never been to Inglourious Basterds. Technically, is a war movie.
Of course, yeah, big time war movie. You don't like John Wayne, so that's like 50%
fucking hate
of them.
John Wayne.
Easy. But that's half of the war movies total ever filmed. There's a lot of good ones.
Platoon was really good. I don't mind that whole area of war movies were pretty good. I thought.
Apocalypse Now.
It's
a mind blower.
But we picked superhero movies. I'm a huge fan. Always have been.
Sure.
And he apparently, I mean, you used to be, but
yeah,
not so much anymore. Was it just like the why so much and not anymore?
Well, we were, like we were saying, they finally have the technology that they can make a superhero movie without it being just this huge, $100 million risk every time, like like the possibility of Waterworld or you know what I mean, like.
I fucking love Waterworld.
Well, yeah, but again, that's if you match it up objectively, it's not a good movie. But either way, the guys that made it regret that they made it extremely. But like Green Lantern, like a lot of these really expensive movies that bust, have been very expensive to their producers. But anyway, I feel like the market's been flooded in the last 10 years in superhero movies because now they can make them.
Yeah.
It's not impossible. I think that's part of it. You just get inundated with them, and all of these franchises that have been rebooted have 2 or 3 sequels or more.
Yeah.
Or multiple reboots.
Well, I mean, that's kind of the point. That's the point of doing a superhero movie. Most of them are based off comics, and there's like, if it's done right, it is really tiresome seeing a fucking Superman origin story again or a Spider-Man origin story again. It's like there's so much to fucking pull from that nobody's even bothered touching on. It's like each one, maybe I think the one that's got the farthest so far was the original Superman. And it still was like, they weren't doing that much different in each movie to make it really worthwhile to watch. And they got worse and worse each movie.
Yeah.
But now they have the technology and the know-how and the past to look back on and say, don't do that. That they can actually do them well. They could make fucking Avengers 7.
Yeah.
Because
they
know how to do it now. And I'm glad because I like superhero.
Well, they know they're confident, with the spending. So I think they know they're going to make money, and so they're going to keep doing it.
Yeah.
If they can make 2 Ghost Rider movies, then that.
Oh boy.
They'll make anything.
Oh boy.
And they still probably made money on those pieces of shit movies.
Yeah. And that used to be one of my favorite comics too. That was one of the like 4 or 5 that I really like bought. I even now I really can't tell you why he became Ghost Rider. I mean, I think he went to hell
Johnny
and
Flame
came back.
Or something.
But exactly.
Or
But
Blaze.
I really liked the comic books.
Johnny Blaze.
No, that's
Fantastic Four.
Fantastic Four. See, even not being, having a limited knowledge of comic books, more a fan of movies. So
Sure.
Being a fan of these movies makes sense because they are, even though they are like fucking multi-million-dollar blockbuster movies, they're finally getting around to where they know what they're doing, which is good.
It is. They are something we touched on early. I mean, we're definitely drawing some big, trend line. Excuse me. Sorry, I'm just crushing beer and it's making me burp a lot. We're definitely drawing some lessons from like just the big block of watching them all at once, which has been kind of interesting. But we were talking about our frustration with the PG-13, like where they're just married, and a lot of them are PG for that matter.
Yeah, PG. That's true. Was the original Ninja Turtles PG or was that 13?
I think it's PG.
I want to say it's PG.
I think Superman was PG.
The original Superman, yeah, I do believe it was PG.
Amazing Spider-Man should have been. All the Spider-Mans could easily be, except where Green Goblin gets run through by the
Yeah,
that's
that's
the
true.
only
Yeah.
blood. That's like the only violent injury in all of them.
Yeah.
I don't say violent, but like that's
Well,
the
even
only one.
I watched the X2 the other day, and there was like some scenes there's blood, and some scenes it's like there should have been fucking blood there. It doesn't make any sense for there not to be, but there isn't.
Yeah.
Like, it's
and,
just really
and
strange.
yeah, there should be some F words. I'm telling you, when Nightcrawler goes whipping through the White House, just kicking ass, like somebody there would say shit and goddamn it, you know, and that's a little bit of bullshit.
And hearing it is, I wouldn't say it necessarily takes a whole lot away from certain characters, but like Wolverine, his only word in X-Men First Class was "fuck off." Do you remember that scene? They go. Have you seen that movie?
Yes.
Well, they go. They're trying to recruit people, and they like walk in, and he's at a bar, and they're like, "Hey, we're from," and he says, "Fuck off," and then they turn around and walk out. It's this little tiny cameo in there.
It's got to be Hugh Jackman, I'm sure.
Yeah, it's Hugh Jackman, but it's like that character. I feel like he would be cussing, not like.
Yeah, that's appropriate.
But yeah, it would be
appropriate. But so should all the other guys, like
when
he faces off with Nazis that tortured him and they shoot each other and drown each other and attack their loved ones, like kidnapping kids, like, you know, and you know what else? You're going to have some sex in there. And I'm not saying you have to have a belabored sex scene, but, you know, there's going to be nipples and penises, and that's okay.
Especially if you're showing a bunch of Jews. In the Nazi camps, Jews were treated like shit. You know,
I was thinking more like you have a bunch of horned up teenagers.
Horned up teenagers in like what? In
like a compound that are all like making out with each other. You're telling me like
you're talking about an X-Men. In X-Men, yeah.
What are you talking about? That's X-Men, isn't it?
Yeah, but I was thinking X-Men First Class when they show Magneto's fucking origin.
Background or whatever. Yeah, sure.
I mean, that wouldn't necessarily add anything to the movie, but as far as like, you know, trying to box things in and make it like a fucking PG or PG-13 movie, it just seems really strange.
It is. You know, and oh well, then you know you can't let the kids watch it. I mean, so the alternative though, and I know we're getting high on the pedestal here on our soapbox, but the alternative is, you know, then maybe we're not teaching the kids accurate lessons about violence. You know, like. Just slug it out and stab each other and shoot each other.
Yeah, the only violence they're seeing is on cartoons and mutants that can regenerate their, you know, they can't get killed at all.
Yeah, but you cannot see anybody naked. You know, you can't show masturbation.
No curse words.
I mean, you can't say the F word. It's very interesting, man. Did you ever watch that movie? This film has not yet been rated.
No.
It's a documentary about the MPAA and their rating system. It is fascinating. I think
I heard a lot about it, but I never
Kevin
saw it.
Smith
okay.
And,
I think I might have seen some
David
clips
Lynch.
on YouTube where like Kevin Smith. I was on a huge Kevin Smith bender, and I think I probably watched his little clip on YouTube.
He had a great blurb, and that's exactly what he was talking about. You know, it's like you know, like a film, if it shows a woman masturbating, like even through her clothes, like just rubbing herself and getting pleasure from it, it's NC-17, just like that.
Jesus
like no
Christ.
exceptions, essentially.
Yeah.
No exceptions. But, you know, you show a Bond movie, and I forget which one it was, but he was, you know, talking about, just for reference, they have a body count where he, like, really, like, kills, like, 150 people. Or they can have like every PG-13 movie, and this is sort of his bottom line, is violence against women is so rampant. Every TV show, and it's true, and now I look for it, and it really upsets me. We've talked about that before, but every action movie has the same, like, and he calls it like, you know, it's this played out plot device. Like, how do you get the good guy to really, you know, rev him up? You rape his wife, or you kill his wife,
take his girlfriend or his wife,
beat his daughter, you know, and it's like, that's the only way Hollywood knows how to make a villain now, because it's so easy to sell.
Yeah.
You know, it's like infidelity. Like, how do you want to identify a guy that's no good? You show him cheat on his wife.
Yeah.
And it's like, you know, and that's every Tyler Perry movie is.
Never seen him, but probably.
Yeah. I've seen like clips. I saw one on an airplane, but it's just constant, like, and every romantic comedy, but it's always about like cheating and really cheating. But it's in action movies and horror movies.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, we don't need to talk about Martyrs, but Martyrs. I mean, but every
we
movie,
don't need to talk about Martyrs.
Yeah, but you know, like Hannibal. I love Hannibal, but it's like over and over. It's men raping, mutilating, murdering girls. Every TV show. I mean, we're talking like NCIS. We're talking.
Oh yeah, all those crime shows.
That's
all
rape.
It is. Yeah.
It's rape, and
she
rape
was
murder.
covered in semen.
Yeah, all the time. Like he fucked her with a pistol. Like I remember that was one of them. Is they found her vaginal tissue like on his handgun, and that's how
Jesus Christ.
You know, but it's like that's on TV, and people. I have patients in the hospital
during the day,
all day long watching
yeah.
all day long. That's what these people sit home and watch, and I'm not saying like you can't.
But if someone says fuck on TV, they fucking call in, email, fucking get the channel shut down, or a mention of some sort of religion in a wrong way, they fucking lose their shit.
You can't have you have a male kiss another male on TV.
Oh God,
see what happens. You know, and it's just it's so fucked up for our kids. Like, we were talking today about how our kids just don't have a chance. I tell you, man. But that's what that movie is about, is how the big studios control everything, and you know, kind of how homogenous it is, and how it directs media.
Yeah.
Because you can't spend $200 million on a movie and let it be rated R. You know, because if you do, you are really gambling. Because right away, you need every adult to see that movie. Or you're not going to make your money. But if you make it PG-13, and like we were saying, your little 24-year-old male crowd, which is like the people that buy movies, you know, if they have it accessible and they can go, or not even 25, but
I think that
13,
is
15,
like we were talking
16.
about sex scenes in movies, and I admit it, I'm not a huge fan of sex scenes in movies, but that there is a better chance that's a good way to draw in that demographic, is regardless of whether it helps the plot or not. If you get that hot actress, like the fucking movie, what's it called? The movie where Halle Berry showed her tits.
Monsters Ball.
No. Swordfish. Yeah, like there was no fucking reason for her to show her tits. She actually got paid a super retarded amount. The movie probably, I would say probably 50% of people who went to see that just because they knew that was going to happen. So
I didn't, but I enjoyed it. I mean, I was excited to see her boobs.
I didn't care.
That movie was awful.
Yeah, it was pretty bad.
It was an
I like
film.
it, but it's really bad. I can honestly say it's a bad movie, but I enjoy it. I like the scene where they fucking they had the pipe bombs with the ball bearings, and they blew up and they slow it down. I just like, you know, gratuitous violence. It's like, I'm okay. See, it's strange. It's like, I'm okay with seeing that. You can cluster bomb
a public place, but you can't show 1.5 seconds of Halle Berry's boobs. But you see what I mean? I mean, isn't that sort of weird? And isn't it weird that she'd be in a movie like that with all the murder and all that?
But she's not okay with
showing her But she won't show her nipples. Yeah. They can show Hugh Jackman getting a blowjob and coming in a girl's mouth that she swallows while he's hacking a computer program, but she doesn't want to show her nipples.
Did that happen in that fucking movie?
Oh, yeah. Remember, that's like John Travolta tests him, so he has a girl like fucking give him a blowjob under the table while he's hacking a program.
I do not remember that part.
And John Travolta's like, she's good, isn't she? I fucking love John Travolta. But yeah, that's exactly my point, though. And I think that's one of the reasons I do like sex scenes, is because if you're going to show a guy getting his arm sawed off and this and that and just brutal violence, like, you might as well have sex in there. You know, I feel like you should have more sex in movies to like desensitize crazy Americans to sex, because the alternative is you know, and that's why I think we have this weird porn thing. Like it's all gapes and fisting and spitting like we're talking about. Because, you know,
all the anger is in porn instead of actually, because, you know, that was one thing we did. We watched Watchmen, and that's the main movie we're touching on.
We finished that today.
Subconsciously, sort of. The scene in that, the sex scene in that, was not a fucking scene. It wasn't like gratuitous necessarily. It wasn't just like pulling hair.
It was a loving scene.
It was it was more like a love-making scene.
Caressing.
That I don't mind as much as, I don't know. It's just kind of weird. I mean, I don't know. And I still don't see what it adds to the movie personally. But maybe I'm just.
But I feel like it does.
Maybe it makes me uncomfortable for some reason that I haven't I haven't figured out.
Now Raymond here doesn't say a word for 3 straight movies. Like, he's so silent, I'm sure he's asleep. And I'm like nudging him, like, "Hey man, you awake? I'm just watching the movie." He says it in a quiet voice. I'm just watching the movie. Are you weird about it on the podcast too?
Huh?
This guy. So well, I didn't say Jarbage. I said Raymond when I nudged you.
Yeah.
I'm just telling the story true.
I'm gonna have to fucking edit this shit.
Yeah, maybe you can like blur your
All these
face while
fucking
you're at it.
strangers, I can't beep. I don't have a beep button.
It's gonna be tough. You could do one of those voice things, so they don't identify you. You put tape over your tattoos. Anyway, so I'm nudging Raymond, to get any response like, oh man, that scene right there in Constantine, or this, Teenage Mutant, these costumes, or whatever it is. So I don't hear a word. I mean, the guy is, you're a mute
I
for
like
3
to watch
movies,
and I just like to watch them. I'm not like a commentator or laugher.
So then The Watchmen, 2 hours and 10 minutes into it, there's a sex scene. Raymond just goes hot off the grid.
The main reason, okay, that sex scene.
I hate the scene.
It was mainly before that. I didn't know how long remember how long the sex scene was. The sex scene doesn't bother me as much as that stupid fucking ending where she hits that button during the climax and the fucking flamethrower shoots out. It's so fucking corny.
Did it happen in the book?
It happened in the book. I don't remember
if it happened in the book.
But it plays so well in the book because it's not, I don't know. It just played a lot, but in my mind it played a lot better in the book, and it's just like super cliched. They do that kind of shit in in movies a lot, where it's like the guy's surprised or turned on and he accidentally squeezes his drink. You know what I mean? It's just like some stupid thing where you see it coming. It's like she's gonna hit it, or
I didn't see it coming.
You didn't?
I mean, when I saw it in the theater, like I had forgotten that. I mean, I forgot it again just now whether it was in the book or not. But I might have seen the movie the first time before I read the book. Actually,
yeah, I wanted to read the book before I read the.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't know. You're right. I saw the movie first, but I mean, in the theater, I remember everybody laughed out loud. I mean, everybody thought that was really funny.
Exactly.
I thought it was great. I laughed. I thought it was very
funny. I just didn't like it. I thought I just don't.
You read the book first.
Yeah, I just didn't.
You didn't see it coming if you didn't read the book first. I remember being like really surprised, but I thought it was very funny. And the old guys are looking up at the sky because the cloud lights up all of a sudden. It was a great scene. I think that's a wonderful sex scene.
It looked great. The sex scene looked great. I mean, it was done well.
They built it up for a long time. They cared about each other.
Maybe I've seen too many movies. Maybe that's one of the problems. Is I saw that coming from a mile away because I was like, all right, she played with it earlier. You know what I mean? They're like hinting at the fact that it's going to happen. They foreshadowed it completely.
That's okay. That's how it works.
I know,
that's
but
what
I'm
you
just
do
saying,
with everything.
I saw it coming, and I was like, if they do that, fuck this movie.
You realize
like
it's a brilliant movie. They filmed an impossible, beautiful movie, like as true to form as any movie I've ever seen, including that scene.
Yeah.
And you're upset because there's one sight gag. I mean, you realize? Have you seen any of the other movies on our list?
Yeah, I know.
I know. You're totally unreasonable.
I'm completely being irrational and unreasonable, but I still don't like that part.
You don't have to like that part.
I know.
Now.
I'm just saying. It's not going to make me downgrade that movie on a whole as far as like the Bracketron goes.
You just said, then fuck that movie.
No, I mean, when I saw it at that time, now I've gotten over it. You know what I mean? Because at the time I had just read the book and then I saw the movie and I was like, I didn't like the movie that much. I do enjoy the movie a lot more now.
Yeah.
It's a fucking great movie. It's awesome.
It's so close to the book. I would say
the thing is, it's like I almost wish they would have waited until like now to do it though, because the effects would have been that much fucking better.
I think they're as good as anything now, aren't they?
The ADR, well, the Dr. Manhattan would be just that much better, you know. And I'm not saying like fuck that movie, you know. It's a piece of shit. The graphics are terrible. I'm saying it just would have been that much better, like with the CGI technology nowadays, you know.
When it came out.
Well, that's
part of our discussion earlier.
It's about groundbreaking, you know.
But I mean, you know, then they'll never make it. I mean, they put that movie off a long time already to wait. But I mean, like, I think of you need another
beer?
Yeah. You want a black lager or pale ale?
We're drinking some decent beer here. This is a Baba Black Lager. Baba Black Lager.
The wild.
How do you pronounce
extra
this?
Pale ale.
Unta.
Yeah, they're
really
from California. Yeah, it came in one box where there's 2 6-packs, so there's a 6er of each. But yeah, it's pretty good, right?
Well, I found out also, since we're on the topic of Watchmen, I found out that Terry Gilliam almost fucking directed it, and he had a screenplay for it, and then some shit happened, and Zack Snyder got a hold of it and was like, and changed it. And I guess maybe I was because I thought I read in the interview that Zack Snyder said that Zack Snyder said that at the end of his movie, the version that he actually made, that somehow Dr. Manhattan went back in time but I think maybe that's what he was saying Terry Gilliam's script was.
Gilliam's was pretty out there.
Yeah, he said that Terry Gilliam's script was like fucking insane or pure insanity, or he used like basically those words.
Yeah. And Snyder just obsessed over every frame in the book to make his version.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I watched the making of one there.
Maybe the writer of this article just wasn't very good. Because it was really confusing. Oh, I thought it was like mentally ready to have that again. And this is not that.
No, you switched gears. That's good though, right?
Yeah.
I love that one. There's more downstairs.
But yeah, I don't know. I like Terry Gilliam a lot, so I probably still would have enjoyed seeing his. I like anything he does.
I might have, but man, yeah, I think.
I'm not saying I'd rather see it over Zack Snyder's. It was really good.
Yeah.
But yeah,
we're dangerously close to exhausting The Watchmen. Of course, we haven't really talked about it much at all. It's been all circumstantial.
Yeah.
Later we'll get back to more of that.
Yeah, we're gonna do. So how are we gonna do the Bracketron? Are we gonna go individual matchups, or are we just gonna watch as many as we can, and then if we happen to watch two that are matched up, or what? Because I've already watched.
You watched a lot of them.
One matchup, the X-Men versus Spider. What do we? Oh, here I'm gonna show the. We got.
So we actually drew up our bracket. We're gonna do this monthly. We're calling it Bracketron.
Bracketron.
We need a clip for that. We're gonna have an intro for that next week.
Yeah, we're working on.
But we're gonna show you the bracket right now, so you kind of see what's coming, what we're talking about. And if you want to watch some of the movies, everybody I've talked to about this, 2 or 3 different people feel very strongly. So, it's delayed. That's right.
He's looking at the live feed's delayed, so you're seeing the Bracketron. Yeah. So what do we got here? Batman versus Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the original one. Watchmen versus Kick-Ass. X-Men 2 versus Spider-Man 2. Man of Steel versus Iron Man, the original. Look at me picking my fucking nose. Constantine versus Superman 2. Okay, we watched those.
We did watch those.
Excuse me, shit. Dark Knight versus the Avengers. Blade versus Hellboy 2. And Spawn versus The Crow. All these movies are superhero movies, and they all were originally comic books. So we tried to stay in that arena as far as picking our 16.
We had a week-long battle trying to narrow down exactly. Can you get it in front? Oh, there. You did a good job. Good work, buddy. But we said no animated movies, no this, that. I mean, we really.
We might down the line do animated because there's a fucking plethora of damn good animated ones, but we're just gonna wait on that. We just decided to stick with live action, and we tried to pick some. We didn't want to pick only ones that were made in the past like 3 years because
you sure could have.
Yeah,
I mean, there's been plenty.
But we decided to go with like some goodies from the olden times. We didn't go that far back. Like he wanted to do Adam West's
the old
Batman, but it's no match compared to even Superman from the 80,
79,
78
maybe. Yeah.
So
it's just it's tough. You know what though? It's still fun to watch.
I love that fucking movie. I'm not saying it doesn't hold up or anything. I enjoy the movie, but it's definitely more of like comedy than a superhero movie. It's just really too campy and hokey.
Yeah, it's like Gilligan's Island.
Yeah.
Featuring Adam West. Family Guy didn't do it any favors either, because now, I mean, that's what I think of.
Adam West.
West is all over Family Guy. But it's still a blast to watch. And again, we were talking about like sort of overarching life lessons about comic book movies, and I think that's one of them. Is it doesn't have to be like, you don't have to say it's one of the best to really enjoy it. I mean, a lot of these that are way down the list, I still loved watching, even though it's not that good. top 16 is. I mean, we're really drawing on like 70 movies.
Yeah, it was a lot of movies. We had to narrow it down. I mean, even when you talk about just Superman, you have Superman
There's so many.
from
There's like
all the
7
fucking way
Superman
back.
movies.
Yeah, there's so many Superman movies or Batman movies or, and then especially that's one of the main reasons we decided to cut out fucking animated and go just for live action. Try and have some sort of reasonable criteria to be able to help us narrow it down.
Yeah. Some of the ones that didn't make our list that I know we were excited about, like Ichi the Killer. Like, we love Ichi the Killer, but
so fucking
good.
But
it's not going to be one of your. Yeah, it's not going to be. You can't really say it's one of your top 16 superhero movies, probably. Even though maybe it is. But
to be completely honest,
purpose,
I didn't even know it was a comic book.
Well, manga.
Manga, yeah. I didn't
I
know
guess
that.
the manga is the same thing.
Yeah,
basically,
it's comic
right?
books, yeah.
Yeah. I guess there's a bunch. Is that like what's the guy with the awesome motorcycle?
Akira.
Akira. Cause that's a big one.
Yeah.
People have told me to watch those. I haven't.
You haven't seen Akira?
I've never seen
the first
Akira.
one is the only one I've seen. Is there more?
Akira's
fucking great.
Well, I think they did like a series.
So good.
Is it?
Yeah.
Battle Royale was a manga, I think.
Really?
I think so.
Just didn't know. I've seen all the movies, but I don't know not all the movies.
Sure.
We watch all the movies.
Yeah.
We see all the films. Why am I so much brighter? You brought this thing
I'm telling you, man. I don't know. Apparently, I'm a.
Is this come off or is it like screwed on? Oh, it's like screwed on there. Not happening, Bill.
Yeah, I'm surprised because you are. I mean, you look like you're in daylight.
Maybe this camera's just better than the one you got on your face. Anyway, you're visible.
That's good.
That's all that matters. We're live.
It's like yin and yang. I'm just looking at this list. It's a huge list.
What else did we not pick? Guyver I had on there. I did know that movie's one of my favorites. So fucking cool. It was done in like 91 or something like that, 92. Oh, it was so fucking awesome.
Like a sub, and there was a whole group that we didn't pick because we didn't feel like it belonged. And I think of V for Vendetta, for example, or like Dick Tracy.
Not really superheroes.
They're not super, even though they were comics and they acted like superheroes, but we had to kind of.
We tried to narrow it down to like actual superpowers. We have like technically Batman doesn't have superpowers, but fuck you. He's like one of the
if
most
you're that
well-known.
Guy, just get out. Yeah, quit listening. So, and that's another one of the lessons. Fanboys are a pain in the ass. Now, Matt Cerrito, my friend, one of my groomsmen and best friends of my life, I asked him, I said, I know you're a big superhero guy. He and I would get into Batman versus Superman at Cracker Barrel until we were blue in the face. But, he's kind of that friend. Like, we talk movies, we talk this sort of stuff. But, I asked him, like, here, take a look at this list. What do you think? And immediately it was like this whole, like, you guys really need to research more. You need to add this. You need to add that. We did the same thing. And guys that like comic books and like movies the way that
what were some of his things, his actual criticisms?
Well, I didn't give him the whole criteria right away. I said, this is the list. What do you think? What do you have like a top 16 in here, you think? I'd be curious to hear. Just weighing.
Yeah.
Because like I said, we had so many, and there were a lot of them that were kind of neck and neck for us. But right away he wrote, well, these on your list don't count, but these were actually comics, and you forgot to add these. And then, are you doing animated movies? You need to do more research and really narrow it down. And it was like criticizing, like insinuating that we didn't think of any of that when we made our list.
Yeah,
and
I
finally wrote him back.
I like costumes.
Well, I wrote him back, and then he'd write back and be like, yeah, well, what about this? And immediately we were arguing. Immediately, like, about what constitutes a superhero. Anyway, and it was like, my first email, which was like, I told him ahead of time, I called him and said, I'm going to email you the list. Just take a look at it. Okay, I'll do that. I mean, and it ended up being 9 emails, and like right away, the last one was like, shut the fuck up, quit criticizing the list. What do you think? But I would have done the same thing, and so I'm not criticizing Matt at all. Like I said, he did exactly what we did, and what you expect a guy that takes these movies serious, which is one of the reasons we're having fun doing this. These movies really impress, I think, guys especially, but like we were talking about, like the huge cosplay culture. I mean, comic movies have a huge impact. I think comic books always did, but so like I said, he's the man, and he did the same thing we did. But I think that was the lesson, is that you can't, you elicit a reaction by talking about these things, but it really draws people
the
out.
The funniest thing too is like, it's just so silly, but you say what constitutes a superhero to anyone who is interested at all, and you're gonna have a conversation.
You're gonna have a conversation. Exactly. That's exactly right.
It's not gonna be like 1-2 sentence fucking answer. There's gonna be an actual like, well, what do you mean?
Yeah. No, you're right. You're right. So anyway, I love you, Matt. But yeah, it was really interesting.
I'm excited to. I mean, you're saying it's daunting to you, but this is really what I do. So it's nice to have some sort of drive towards my fucking movie watching. I watch way too many movies. It's like, it's hard to even name. I usually go like, because I'm always looking for new shit to watch, so I'll go on DVD new releases on like moviephone.com, or like one of those that just like keeps track of all the newest DVD releases, and I'll just go through there and find ones that look interesting. And yeah, so now I actually have a list to go down instead of like just freeform looking, because it's hard to find movies worth watching. That's one of the things I do love about Netflix, is it makes it a lot easier, because they actually do like put everything in decent genres, and it's all categorized really well, and then there's like a fucking they keep track of what you watch, and they have decent descriptions, so it's a lot easier.
They make silly recommendations though. It's like, you like Sherlock, you love Downton Abbey.
You like people talking funny. You like these people talking funny and being polite.
You're gonna love Sherlock the movie. False.
Oh God, I just saw a Sherlock Holmes movie that it was so bad. It was done like last year or 2 years ago, and it was fucking awful. I only made it like 15 minutes into it, because within like 10 minutes of the movie starting, it shows like this huge sea monster come out of the ocean and attack him, and it's like,
are you sure it was Sherlock?
Yeah, it's Sherlock Holmes, and the tagline or whatever, or the description was like, not to be confused with the Robert Downey Jr. blockbuster or whatever. So it was an actual Sherlock Holmes, because I did see Watson and I did see Sherlock. Sherlock was played by this like super short character, and they didn't get a Watson that was also short. Like that's why I think that's one of the main reasons why they picked what's his face to play Watson, and
Martin Freeman.
No. Martin Freeman's brilliant. Sherlock is generally portrayed. He's a tall dude, skinny dude.
Yeah.
And they picked Robert Downey Jr., who's not. Jude Law. He's not a tall, skinny dude. He's not fat, but I'm just saying he's not like a lanky gentleman. So they had to get someone that's at least the same height, But this guy was like almost a foot taller than Sherlock. It's just, I don't know, being such a like someone who loves this movie so much, and the characters really takes you out of it when you see like visually a bad portrayal. It's like you can't even put that out of your mind to like see if he's doing a good job. Sorry, I don't know why I got stuck on that. Why did we get? I went from Netflix, and then you mentioned Sherlock, and then I said Sherlock because I'd seen it. Don't watch that shit. It's fucking awful.
What is it?
The Sherlock is it's hyper reality, and a giant fucking sea monster is fantasy. So that's why I immediately was like, fuck this movie. I'm not watching it. I like to see him research a fucking, a gun that has vaginal fluid on it or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah. That makes sense. Yeah.
That was a callback. That was a beautiful callback. What you looking at? All right, BRACKETRON, Superhero Showdown.
Mm-hmm.
It's happening, guys.
Yeah, I don't know how we're going to get through it. We were talking about trying to do it by round, but I mean that means we watch all 16 and we do we do 8 matchups today in our first podcast. Fuck that. That's just not realistic.
No, I think we watch them as much as we can and keep them, when we've both watched the same matchup. So you want to go ahead and do the one that we watched? What was it? Fucking
Constantine and Superman 2.
Yeah, we watched both those. We could.
Yeah, fuck it. Constantine versus Superman 2.
Constantine versus Superman 2.
Do you have like a soundbite you can play? 'Cause I feel like
no.
That's too bad. That's just not.
From here on out, we're gonna have verses. We didn't work on these very long.
No.
It's not necessarily. We've spent a lot of time talking about it and figuring it out to try and make it right. So we haven't done any actual like screen captures or anything. We had the BRACKETRON thing, and we had a one versus like tryout, but we didn't watch those 2 movies. So
we had a what?
It was just like a tester picture. The versus one.
Oh yeah, and I just need to make a whole line of
them. So next time we'll have the versus pictures. But yeah, we don't have a soundbite or anything. But we watched. It was Constant on the bracket. We got Constantine versus Superman 2 with Christopher Reeves. You pulling up the info on those movies so that we can.
Well, what do you want to know? I have some for Constantine written down.
Oh, you mean like I mean like when it was made or anything like that?
Yeah, Constantine was 2005.
Okay.
Starred Jude Law.
Gavin Rossdale, Keanu Reeves, fucking Jude Law. And Jude Law and Robert Downey Jr.
Bruce Willis. Bruce Willis is the devil. That's fucking funny. All right, yeah, give me a second. Let me pull it up. Yeah, fuck that. Nobody's gonna watch Constantine right now and be like, "Who directed this movie?" But I love it, man. And we were talking about it's one of the only superhero movies that I own and I've watched multiple times. But I've had a great time watching Constantine.
I did. I had only seen it once a while ago, and I just heard some shit about it.
Yeah, got terrible reviews. Roger Ebert said it's one of his like least favorite movies of all time. Just silly. Yeah, I think it had like a 46% on Rotten Tomatoes, so it's pretty mixed. But the viewers liked it 72%. I think the subject matter turns a lot of people off, and honestly, it really would turn me off because there were a slew of movies like this, like that Paul Bettany movie, Archangel or something. But movies
Legion. They had Legion, and then they had.
They have those shitty TV shows where it's like angels fighting demons, like that. I can't stand that, like the kind of weak Catholic. Catholicism stuff that they play up in the books and the cross. I get so tired of all the imagery and those old shit. And Constantine has all of that, so it just sort of succeeds in my mind, despite all of the mythos that it draws from. I didn't feel like it was too religious. I felt like it was honestly very sacrilegious in its way, like where he's saying like God and the devil made a bet. God's just a kid with an ant farm, and
he's so angry at God the whole time, even though he knows. What was it? That one line. He's like, "I believe," and then Gabriel says, "You don't believe, you know. There's a difference, or whatever." It's like that was a good line.
Well, and Gabriel, the word I saw when I read a review of it was that she's like this pansexual fairy from a Broadway play. But that's kind of Tilda Swinton's thing. I thought she was a wonderful casting. She was great.
Perfect casting.
She was awesome. She was scary but beautiful, and I loved her in that.
Perfectly non-gender specific.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like she pulled off it's hard to tell, and that's kind of the point.
Yeah, but yeah, I thought she was wonderful.
Yeah.
But like even her, like even having the angel Gabriel, who's in the Bible like this very significant, I think Gabriel's the one like
It's so funny to
told
me.
Joseph that Mary was going to have the Son of God.
It's so funny to me that there's a slew of religious films coming out right now. Son of God, and Noah. They're making them put like a disclaimer on Noah because it's not historically accurate according to the Bible. Like they're putting a disclaimer on the movie so to like appease the Christians or whatever. It's just so funny. It's like you don't see any disclaimer on fucking Constantine. Constantine, a fucking disclaimer. We're sorry for the way we're portraying Gabriel in this.
Yeah, well then
like it's so silly. It's a fucking movie.
Yeah.
Like get over yourselves.
Yeah, kind of, sort of. But anyway, I think that's my point with Constantine.
Yeah.
I never read the Hellblazer comics, which is what I guess it draws from.
Okay.
John Constantine, that character's first appearance was in a Swamp Thing comic I read, which was really interesting in 1985.
I did not know that. It makes me want to find it.
I know, I do too. But I can't say I'm going to get around to that anytime real soon.
I probably will.
But I thought that was
interesting.
Find
it online. That is cool.
Yeah.
In a Swamp Thing comic? I used to watch the TV show.
I read it. It was like on IMDb or something. So, I imagine it's true, but I'm not sure. But, just like a little trivia tidbit. But, what Constantine, what I love about it is just, I feel like the pacing is excellent. Like, are you busy reading the interwebs there?
I'm just looking.
Because it looks like that's what you're doing. No, but I love the pacing in Constantine. It starts with a bang. And you never have like big dull times. There's not big dialogues. There's no parts where the acting gets, where they lean on it too much or they pull away from it too much. Like I don't feel like there's extended awful action scenes like in Blade.
Oh yeah.
And it doesn't go the other way like these origin stories that drive me fucking nuts, where it's just all this like trying to build character for no reason. And that's like,
that's really good about this movie. It doesn't even
none of that.
It doesn't spend any time on origins. Like you have a little touch back occasionally on like to get you to know who these characters are because it does just come in and say these are the characters and this is who we're dealing with.
It's 60 seconds of total screen time, maybe. But it's like I was writing them down because that's something I noticed last night that I think makes that movie hold up so well. It's like action scene, pause, set up the next one, pause, and they're not, and it's not a bunch of karate every time. It's like, here, I got my list.
Not a bunch of karate. Fucking kung fu masters.
Fucking karate against guns. I can't say that, but it's like, the opening scene, the guy finds the spear, he gets hit by the car. It's cool scene,
awesome.
But it's quick and it's a great scene.
Yeah.
And then the next scene, there's the exorcism, where he like fights the demon, he traps him in the mirror and throws the mirror out the window. Like it doesn't make any sense, but it looked great.
Yeah.
I thought it was.
Well, that maybe that has to, I mean, it might make sense biblically in some way, like or people who know the mythology, demonology, or something. It might be something embedded in some sort of mythology like that. But
maybe. I know it looked damn cool.
It looked fucking
Constantine's
awesome.
all sweaty and coughing and smoking and Shia LaBeouf is kind of funny in that part. But what was the other thing?
Who else is in this movie while you're thinking? Keanu Reeves, Rachel Weisz,
Shia LaBeouf, Jimon Hunsu. I'm not sure. Blood Diamond and In America.
Who plays the devil again?
I think he's Bush. Peter Stormare plays Lucifer, and we'll get to that. But yeah, the action scenes in this movie, man, they're really cool. I love all the scenes where he kind of crosses over, like Keanu handles them so well
awesome.
too.
That's so good.
Where he like puts his feet in the water and holds the cat, and I think Keanu hits it out of the park. Like he's sort of funny, but he's not overacting. But he's not tuned out either.
He's a little overacting, I think. But
he doesn't do anything. I think
it fits really good with the noir style that they're going for in the movie, because all those noir, like 1940s fucking detective movies and TV shows, it was pretty dead on for that kind of character. You know what I mean?
I guess
like
I don't feel like he acts at all. He just sort of step out of the apartment. And it's like the scene is ridiculous. He has his shoes in the pan of water, and he's stroking the cat. I hate this part. But I love that, and I think it's an inventive scene. Like, the water starts boiling, and you see the lock click shut, and boom, he's there.
Yeah, it didn't take me. It took me like. This is probably actually like the third time I've seen it to really notice that they're showing such a small passage of time within that.
And she closes the door, opens it.
Yeah,
boom,
because it's
smoking.
like immediate.
Yeah, I just thought the imagery was great.
Yeah.
Anyway, there's a bunch of those scenes. Then there's like the nightclub where he has the chair, and he and they talk about how there's like all these souls, like 200 people were put to death in that chair.
Oh yeah.
And then like he puts the electricity through it, and boom, he gets to go off and like look around. The scene where Rachel Weisz gets sucked through the buildings and like sucked out into space. That was cool.
Scene. It was done so well. I mean, a lot of these scenes, that's the thing, is they could have been easily fucked up. Like a scene like that could have been done so badly, so easily.
And they don't waste time. They don't. They don't show her flying around the clouds. They just boom. I feel funny. Bam, she's gone. And it looked great.
Yeah.
Anyway, right all the way to the end. I mean, I just feel like it's just short.
Yeah,
in scenes where he drowns her in the tub. I mean, the scenes are great. That's a great movie. Gavin Rossdale, I thought was pretty cool.
I'm
surprised he hasn't acted in more movies after that.
He's like Madonna, really bad.
Good. He is a beautiful.
I would be too if I looked that handsome.
Yeah. Well, yeah. He's a bunch of albums. He's got a good voice. He's Australian.
Pitched like huge fits on stage for like his amps not being turned on and then just not playing shows and shit. It's all hearsay, and I was younger when I heard him, but who knows? But yeah, he was good in this movie.
You know what?
I think he has been in another movie, but I can't remember which one. I mean, he's not even on this list.
Man, Curie would sop him up with a biscuit.
Balthazar. I always like that name.
Yeah. But that scene where he's like, what does he call him, like, finger licking good or something? Yeah, I love that. It's a great scene.
Oh, he's just in a bunch of shit movies.
It's a night show. Well, I guess that doesn't count. Ghost Whisperer.
Stealth, Terminator 3,
Swim Fan,
Triple X.
The Jackal.
Ghosts of Girlfriends Past. Yeah, he is.
He doesn't need any money.
The only good movie he's been in.
Yeah, and a lot of people would argue with that. But I thought he did a great job.
Yeah, I thought
he looked the part where he's like lurking around and just looking gnarly.
Yeah, it's a fucking good movie. What do you any awards for this one, or do you want to watch all?
We're gonna have to come up with some more. I will say my early vote for the most inspired casting, scene stealer in any of these that I can think of off the top of my head is Peter Stormare as Lucifer. Like
scene
Lucifer,
stealer?
I think he steals this whole movie. He blew me away. And in the theater, I thought that it's not something I would just keep watching.
Yeah.
But where like the way they shoot him, where he's got like the black tar sort of dripping off his feet, and the white suit, and just the way he talks, and I love his energy, man. I think he's just brilliant.
Yeah,
he's brilliant. Because you know how easy it would be to fuck it up. Like look at any Blade movie, like the Blood God and red eyes, and just dumb horseshit. He's the best Lucifer. I mean, as far as being unhinged but still powerful and kind of just awesome. I love it, man. I love it. My favorite depiction of Satan in a movie. I can't think of very many more off the top of my head. Al Pacino and Devil's Advocate.
Yeah, but that movie in general.
Yeah.
Fucking awful.
Yeah.
Weird incesty devil. Ugh.
Yeah. A lot of boobs in that movie. Yeah, that movie was terrible. Terrible.
God awful. If you hate that movie, you should watch or listen to How Did This Get Made's tearing down of it.
Oh, the Devil's Advocate? That's random, isn't it?
How Did This Get Made is a great podcast. Paul Scheer and yeah, it's fucking hilarious. They just rip it apart for about an hour and a half.
Yeah. One of the things I read about in movies.
The only other devil that I can think of right off the top of my head is from Legend, but I think that's just technically a demon. I don't think it's the devil.
Remember
that movie? Tom Cruise. This is like first movie.
No.
Legend. Fucking devil looks awesome. I think it was played by Tim Curry.
He's probably a good choice for that.
Yeah, but it's like this huge costume, you know. It's not just like...
Yeah.
human form, which is yeah, Peter Stormare is
I think
pretty much.
I think he steals a lot of. I'd have to really look back at his body of work. I think of Fargo, is the first one.
Fargo
where he
is great.
Puts him in the wood chipper, but the dude is the real deal. Tilda Swinton was great. Shia LaBeouf, who I can't stand.
I like Shia LaBeouf.
Shia, whatever.
Shia, whatever. Big Lebowski. He was
yeah, he was the Autobahn guy, right? The nihilist.
Yeah. I believe in nothing. Oh, he's in Zero Theorem. That's Terry Gilliam's newest movie.
Cool. I guess.
I haven't seen it yet. Oh gosh, well we had touched on Terry Gilliam.
Pain and Gain.
Yeah. Anyway, Zootopia.
Never mind any of that. So moving forward. Yeah, Shia LaBeouf. I thought he was fine in this role, and like I said, I'm not a big fan of it. One of the things I ran about is like people surviving impossible shit, and I thought it was one of the things I liked about the movie is sad, but where Gabriel kills him.
Yeah.
She just bam, 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 and he's dead.
Just dead.
He fucking died, and that's what happens when you get slammed up and down against tile floors.
By an angel
dead.
with the strength of 30 men or whatever.
Yeah. And he's dead. He doesn't live. You don't see him like limping around with a crutches later or some dumb shit. The dude is dead.
Die Hard.
Yeah.
I
thought that was great too.
Yeah.
So,
something you definitely don't see coming, and you shouldn't.
Especially in a comic book movie. Yeah.
Where everybody always survives.
Rachel Weisz, I would say, is the only thing that kind of let me down in this movie. A lot of people, like reviews I was reading, said that she tried to keep it afloat. I felt the opposite way. I felt like she didn't really do much for me in this movie. And I think she's an excellent actress, so this is not a shot at Rachel Weisz. But,
I thought she was good. I mean...
She was adequate. She was serviceable. I think, honestly, I really think the casting otherwise was so good.
Yeah.
And, I think they didn't write much for her to do except cry and squeal and, like, try to hold the baby in her tummy and be psychic. Like, really, be a beautiful psychic detective. So that's sort of a horseshit.
I see, yeah.
She did a great job in the bathtub, though. It's
the
hard
bathtub,
to lie
that's
upside down in a bathtub with your eyes open like
insane.
that and be emotive. I thought she did a great job with that. All right, Rachel.
Basically be drowned on camera.
But, her when you're in the tub looking up, it doesn't look like your eyes burn and water's getting in, and she doesn't flinch and holds it. And, like I said, emotes. I thought she did a great job there. So, I'm an asshole. She did a good job, I guess.
You want to rate it? Or do you want to talk about the other one and then rate both?
Well, the cons with Constantine is the stupid Catholic imagery. And
it has to happen for that movie, though.
Gun he has with a cross for a sight.
That was silly.
So stupid.
That was silly.
Why do you need that?
Why does it have to be a cross?
Yeah. Like, he sets a rag on fire and it torches a bunch of demons. Why do you need a shotgun?
Yeah, they didn't explain that either. Like, why that rag was...
I think he bought it from Beeman earlier, and it was, like, soaked in holy water or something.
Oh, okay. I don't remember him.
But it's like, the stuff he was selling, it was like bullet fragments from an assassination attempt on the Pope. It's kind of stupid stuff.
And then he goes and... Yeah, it was all, like, small-time shit, and then
he and Shia LaBeouf are, like, praying over... Like, get all that out of there, Get it out of here.
But if you're having a movie that's centered around, all the villains are centered around angels and demons, it's gonna have to be that. You can't just. Yeah, you have to have. It's religious imagery. It has to make sense within that world. It all makes sense within that world, except for the cross gun is fucking stupid.
The cross gun's stupid. And, like, why are they making special bullets for a special gun? Like, Shia LaBeouf puts his bullets in his own shotgun and it looks like a proper shotgun.
Yeah, why the fuck
Why do you need a golden
Yeah, it was
shotgun?
Gold, and they didn't even explain, like, why they... Yeah, that's so stupid.
Yeah.
They spent all this time making these
I think a lot of that's in the comic book. But you know what? You get to divorce the comic book for dumb shit.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Yeah, that's the thing. It's like, if you're making a movie, just stick to some of the things, but you don't have to cram everything that's in a full run of comics into one movie.
Yeah.
Maybe they were worried it wasn't gonna do good, so they're like, "Fuck it, we got to take all this shit and try and cram it in." I think that's maybe one of the downfalls of a lot of comic book movies.
Yeah.
Is they're like, we have to fucking touch on so much stuff. We have to have two villains. that are really awesome and scary. You know, we have to, because they're so worried that it might fail. But yeah. I don't know. I liked it, except that cross gun's pretty fucking retarded.
Yeah, that's kind of.
It's not like he used it other than just shooting them. You know, there was no explanation of, well, the cross it has to come through a cross because it. You know, if they had just like a little bit of dialogue that explained why it had to be a cross.
And then why it had to be gold? Like
gold.
That's the dumb. Like if he had a black matte finish like metal you buy at the hardware store to make a retarded looking weapon, you know, like I'd be okay with that. You know, you could shape it. I don't care. I guess I do, but I don't really care. But if you make it gold, it's just doubly nonsensical. Then
yeah. Burp.
They're making a TV show now, actually, for Constantine.
Oh, they are? That's one I haven't heard about. I've heard about the few other ones. They're Dusk Till Dawn and...
What?
Actually, Robert Rodriguez is doing it, though, so it might actually be good. You never know.
He's not that good, man. I hate to say that.
At least he did the original. You know, that's the only thing I see. It's like he did the original, therefore...
Have you seen the original?
Yeah, I like it.
No, nobody likes the original.
I do like it.
That's terrible.
I'm not saying it's a great movie. I'm just saying I like it.
So what else did we watch? Superman 2.
Superman 2.
So we'll get back to rating Constantine.
Yeah.
It's hard to rate
Superman
it, but I mean,
2.
I think the fact that we talk about Constantine for 30 minutes, there's a lot of good stuff to say about it. And I don't feel like it got credit for it. It did make $230 million globally.
Yeah, and it only cost like $100 million.
100,
so
which is a lot.
Seriously remade its money.
It did.
That's
most of that was international.
That's not
though.
A fucking failure. It's not like what was a Green Lantern or something made like $2 million and cost like $100 million, something crazy.
I think that cost more like $200 million. I mean, Green Lantern.
But that's what I'm saying. It didn't lose any money, and that's surprising for such a risky movie. Well, it has Keanu. The only thing that had really going for it to start off was it had Keanu Reeves.
Yeah. None of those other people were famous then, which is kind of neat that they are now. Superman 2, 1980. I still liked it, you know. It was we followed Constantine with all of its great effects. So I mean, it definitely looked aged. And
this is when you say this as far as matchups, I think this is like one of the most disparate.
Sure, yeah.
Matchups.
Yeah.
As far as era and
content
and
style,
you know, as far as, you know, I guess
every way.
In general.
Yeah, I don't know how.
But it just kind of happened.
Yeah, neither one had a.
All the other matchups are a lot more equal. So this is kind of but who knows? We're gonna. I don't know how to average. Can you average? When we.
Oh yeah, yeah. Absolutely.
Right. It still might win. Who knows? Still might win.
Sure. Well, yeah. Talk about it, and I think we might as well put it in a little bit of historical context, and then try to grade it objectively. One of the things is going to be, how does it hold up? Because you know what, like Casablanca holds up.
Yes.
You know, African Queen holds up. So I think the first Star Wars movies, I think, hold up.
Oh, definitely.
You know,
they definitely do. Blade Runner definitely holds up.
Yeah.
Always will.
Alien.
Even Alien.
Terminator 1.
3. Terminator 1. This movie, not so much.
It doesn't.
It would have held up a little bit better if it hadn't been in Blu-ray on an HD television. I do believe that, because it does separate the layers of the film a lot more.
You know, all the scenes where they're floating, you could see them on a filament holding them up on the Blu-ray, which, you know, I'm sure you couldn't on like a big projector theater back in the day.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. If you're going to watch any of these old movies like that, where you do have a lot of blue screen, green, I think it was blue screen, don't watch them on fucking Blu-ray with a guy in giant HD TV. It just takes you out of the movie. They're just not made to. It's kind of like playing a fucking NES on HD TV. They're not made to be played on that. You know, they're not made to be seen that way. They're made to be seen on film to start off with.
Yeah. But you know, I don't know. At the same time, you know, you're still looking at acting, and you're looking at actors, and you're looking at color.
Color palette, framing.
Sure.
trying. That's the thing that gets me. It's like this movie could have held up. It could have been done well enough that it did hold up good. Because there was movies made before this, like I said, that do fucking still hold up. That were done with maybe a less budget, a smaller budget.
This, I think, is the hardest thing to film, though. Like, having a bunch of people flying around, throwing buses at each other, laser beam eyeballs. Like, there are so many aspects of this movie. Blade Runner holds up because it's just dystopian. I mean, you can build that set, and that's the movie. You know what I mean? You didn't have flying, like a person walking on the moon, walking on water, throwing, like taking the top off the White House, Mount Rushmore with laser eyes. That was fucking dumb. I wish it wasn't so dumb. But you know what I mean? Like, the hardest thing to film is Superman 2, I think. I don't think you could devise something trickier. Even if you did it in space, I think it would be easier to do in space because you're just floating around in space. Like, you can have models. You can do whatever you want out there, and like, the background doesn't change. Like, stars aren't moving if you're flying because they're very far away. You know what I mean? But if you have them fighting in Times Square, throwing shit at each other, blowing a street away, like tearing down buildings, that's a challenge, man. So I feel like you do have to give it a little extra leeway because Blade Runner and Casablanca, like, they're people in buildings behaving like people. Like, there's nothing extraordinary that they're shooting. And reading reviews of Superman 2 to kind of revamp where I was, like, contemporaneous reviews said the special effects were great, and I thought that was really interesting. And as a kid, I don't remember. I remember thinking, she really got bit by a rattlesnake. Oh wow, they're really in a helicopter.
Not even a fucking poisonous.
Yeah.
Like a fucking
some water snake, rat snake or something. But but like where they shoot each other with lasers and they just sort of glow red. I mean, some of that stuff is just awful. But what were you gonna do?
The fucking acting, though, you know what I mean. Even if you look at the special effects for their time, like you said, hard to do, hard to make look good, even with the top of the line shit. It
was ambitious.
Yeah, the acting is fucking bad. It's just so bad. I don't like it. I don't think it's good. And I'm not. And Christopher Reeve, I think even from the first movie, and what's her face that plays Lois Lane,
Margot Kidder.
I think they were so much better in the first movie. Even it's like from movie to movie, they forgot how to act. You know what I mean?
I thought he did a good job in this one.
Margot Kidder looks like fucking shit.
She looks. And I remember thinking she was just a goddess back in the day watching this movie. I thought
she looks like
striking.
A goddamn meth addict.
She looks real bad. She looks real bad. Ursa too. I remember thinking Ursa was just a bad.
She looks a lot better in this movie than fucking Lois Lane. That's for sure. Ursa.
But I thought what's the guy that played Zod? It's like Terrence Stamp. Is that his name?
Terrence Stamp. Yeah.
I thought he did a great job.
He was good.
And I thought Reeve did a good job.
Yeah.
It's a fanboy movie. I think. Like a lot of it, like the hokey comedy. And a lot of Fortress of Solitude action, like throwing the buses, like the fight in Times Square, the scene on the moon. There's a lot of stuff like that I feel like they really made a silly comic book movie, for better or worse.
Definitely a silly comic book movie, and that's the kind of, I don't know, that's.
I hear you.
But for the time, and like you're saying, back then Superman's such a big thing. We were talking about this earlier. It was geared a lot more towards kids. Now it's not so much because these aren't.
Well, adults love Superman.
Yeah, well that's what I'm saying. Adults, but they were kids back then. A lot of these movies back then were geared a lot more towards kids. Now they can, we don't have we were talking about this with for the viewers. I'm just rehashing. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, it was a cartoon back then, so the movie in general was geared towards kids because kids were watching the cartoon. They weren't reading the comic book back, so it is geared a lot more towards kids. So it is going to be more of a cartoony. The jokes are going to be a lot more slapsticky, like fucking Gene Hackman as Lex Luthor. It's just.
And I love Gene Hackman, but it's unwatchable.
It's like two of the Three Stooges. You
Yeah.
know, it's Moe and fucking Curly. It's so bad.
You're right. And Non, man, the O'Halloran, like the big guy that doesn't say anything. And
his Lurch.
Yeah, Lurch.
Just fucking angry Lurch.
I think it's pretty tedious.
Yeah, I don't
know. But I love like the scene at the end where he goes back and beats the guy up at the bar. Like that was kind of fun. I thought that was a good scene, and where he tricks them all in the Fortress of Solitude and throws them down like into the abyss, where I guess they all died and froze to death because then they left them there, which is kind of gnarly.
I don't remember that part.
Well,
I fell asleep last night watching this movie.
Yeah.
It was late. We had already watched like 2 movies.
Yeah, we were pretty beat.
But I have seen it. I mean, that didn't take away from me fully comprehending if this movie's worth shit or not. Seeing the very last bit of it. I'm not saying it's not worth a shit. That was not what I meant by that comment.
I think you have a point, though. Like, the acting isn't so good that it draws you back. The special effects aren't so good that it draws you back. The plot isn't. It's not like so well written that you're like, there's twists or really intriguing, plot developments or character development.
Never like, there's never a moment where you're like, oh, I didn't see that coming. Not happening with this fucking movie.
Yeah. So that sort of brings you back to what are you fighting for then at the end, and really this is one that you saw a long time ago and you liked, or you're a kid now. An adult that sees this for the first time now is going to get nothing out of it.
Oh, not at all. You have to be a kid to enjoy this movie.
And I think a kid would.
I still enjoy the movie, even though I don't like it. You know what I mean? Because it does hold a place. It's like, it was made before I was born or whatever, but I did see it when I was younger. When I first saw it, saw all the Superman movies when I was younger, playing on cable or whatever. So.
Yeah. And this was the best, by far. This was the one I loved.
Yeah, this one and the first, this one, the first one's just a little bit lower than this one, I think.
Yeah, they're pretty close.
I
loved having him fight.
I wish
other
Lois Lane
superhero
didn't look
bad
like
guys.
shit in this movie. That would have made it. I think that would have put it at least on. I don't know. I think the original is. That's what I was trying to say. I think the original is better, just because Lois Lane looks so much better in the first one. It's really bad.
Well, we'll talk about Man of Steel in a later matchup, and it'll be interesting to kind of compare them.
Yeah. I already know that I prefer Zod in the newer one. I can see.
That's one of the things. I was going to go the opposite. I think I like Terrence Stamp, and I'm a big Michael Shannon fan. He was completely square in the new one. Like, they didn't do anything with him interesting at all.
He's great. He's like a fucking serious like war general. They actually show him like leading a fucking army and like being in charge of shit. Like, it's so fucking good. He's so intense.
You could have anybody do that role.
He's like fucking the Joker. Swear to me. He's that good. Oh, man. He's just intense, and I enjoyed it. Jesus fucking Christ.
We're gonna have that conversation later.
Oh, we're gonna
fucking talk about Man of Steel.
Rating? You want to rate? See, yeah.
I think after watching it again, this is going to be tough. It's going to break my heart a little bit. I think I'd give Superman 2 like an 84, 83 or an 84%.
That high?
Yeah.
Jesus, not me, Bill. Ooh, boy. 80 fucking what?
All right, 81. I'm going to give it an 81.
Are you keeping track of my shit too?
Yeah, go ahead. What do you got?
I'm going to have to go like I'll go 71. 71. And that's like pushing it. That is pushing it.
Yeah, okay. That's fair.
That is pushing.
We got to do Constantine, I suppose.
Constantine. Okay. Constantine, for me, is probably at around about a Hey guys, you can chime in. Says we got 3 people watching. How's everybody doing out there in YouTube's land?
Yeah, once we get more people kind of involved, I'd love to like do polls because I mean polls can be pretty fun.
Yeah, we got this whole chat section over here with the comments. Constantine for me, I'm gonna go at 87. 87.
87. Wow,
Well,
I'm gonna give it an 84.
make mine an 80, 85 instead. An 85. An 85. This feels good. I got an itchy back. It's lattice.
Well, Constantine wins this one with an 84 and a half. So I guess we'll round up. We can't round up.
Huh?
You want to just change yours to 84 and we'll just have a round 84?
Sure.
Okay. So Constantine has an 84
Sure.
against
It won,
Superman. Against Superman 2's 76.
All right, Constantine wins the bout.
Constantine defeats Superman 2, but this is another good example, like the Adam West Batman. I'm gonna watch Superman 2 again, and I think kids should watch it, and people that like Superman should watch it. So just because it doesn't go further in the tournament doesn't mean we don't like it. Except
That's true.
You don't like it.
So here we go. We got. Oh, too bad we can't actually do this live. We got Constantine over here on the upper right is gonna move down to that little bracket and then face up against either Dark Knight or the Avengers. Oh shit. Oh shit.
That's gonna be a good one, Dark Knight versus the Avengers.
Yeah, that's gonna be pretty hard because those are both fucking really good.
Yeah, they're both great and flawed.
Really fucking good, yeah. And it takes you about 3 or 4 viewings to really see the flaws in either of them, and I've seen both of them like 4 times.
Yeah.
And that's nitpicky too.
Well, that's what
you have to get
too. Like,
pitnicky.
That's looking for things.
Yeah.
To to rank it effectively. I mean, those are both entertaining, enjoyable movies.
Oh, look at we getting all fucking glitchy. We getting
Nice.
glitchy billies? Because we weren't before. Oh, yeah. Stop being glitchy. Yeah, it doesn't sound glitchy. It's just, it might be just your internet. Anyway, so yeah, Constantine is victorious. So I burped.
You sure did.
You want to move on to something else? We did watch a movie called Lawless that was really good.
We did.
Wait, you should watch, before we move on to that, BRACKETRON wise, you should go ahead and watch Spider-Man 2 and X2.
Okay.
Because I've watched both of those, and that's on the other side too, so it'll be kind of like watching these and then watching these, you know.
Sounds good. You're picking your nose a lot today.
It's just itchy. Like I have an itch like right under here.
Yeah.
You know when you get the
like a little gelatinous itch.
It's not gelatinous.
It tastes salty.
Just a little itchy.
You made me pick my nose. That's disgusting.
It's just
Sorry,
right
everybody.
Here, like right up here in the thing. Like
you need to quit doing that.
I think it's the mustache getting up.
You also need
nose,
to shave.
like right here. You need to shave.
Mine is like managed.
Bastard. I brush it.
You finger
I brush it every
aggressively.
Day. No, I brush it when I get out of the shower.
You look like a murderer.
Get up in the morning. You look like a murderer. Anyone ever tell you look like a murderer?
Yeah, lawless.
Not in a bad way.
Lawless.
Kind of murdery.
I'm glad you watched it. It like the plot didn't interest me at all, and Kiri wanted to see it, so we went and saw it kind of on a whim in Dallas, and we really liked it.
I probably never would have watched it if I hadn't seen fucking Tom Hardy and that Bronson and and all the other movies he's been in. But yeah, it was fucking great. It was such a cool story, and then learning about the fact that it's actually loosely based on a true story. Mm-hmm. Dude wrote a book.
The wettest county in Virginia or something like that.
I'm gonna find out right now, bro.
Mm-hmm. I think it has two of the best.
Shia LaBeouf.
It does. I think it's got two of the best actors in business right now. And, not that either one of them's a surprise, but I think what's his name? Guy Pearce,
man, he
killed it in this movie.
So fucking good in this movie.
Yeah.
It's got Shia LaBeouf, Tom Hardy, Jason Clarke, Guy Pearce, and Jessica Chastain are like the main characters.
It's it's got two others down there on the list. It's got the girl. What's her name? She's in a bunch of movies now. The blonde girl. Okay, I don't know where you
The Wettest County in the World is the name of the book, written by Matt Bondurant, and he's the guy who
their grandson
is the grandson of the lead character.
Yeah, scroll down a little. What's the kid's name? Is it Dane?
Fucking Gary Oldman was in this shit too, playing Floyd Banner, the infamous gangster. Jesus.
But what's the Mia
Wasikowska?
Wasikowska.
Oh,
look
yeah,
her up, because she's in a bunch of stuff.
Looking. God, she's so good looking.
What?
I think she is.
All right.
Looks like my ex smoking.
Good for you. You like Taylor Swift. You like long blonde necks. That's what you like.
I do.
That's your type.
I'm a fucking nape guy.
Yeah.
What are you into?
I'm just gonna take pictures of necks. Yeah, that is what you're about. You're scroll down and see what she's Australian. Everybody's Australian.
Stoker.
Alice in Wonderland.
Alice.
That's what it was.
Ooh boy.
Yeah.
Ooh
no
boy.
Way. You are out of your mind,
Ooh
son.
Boy.
What is she, like 16 anyway?
Yeah, but I'm only fucking,
Terrible. And what's the kid's name? Because the kid in that is the guy from Place Beyond the Pines and Chronicle. And the
guy who plays the young Shia?
No, his buddy though, the hobbled kid.
Oh.
Because he's in everything now. He is very good. Yeah, Cricket.
Dane DeHaan.
Yeah, look this guy up, man. This kid is all over the place now.
Oh, that's the kid. That's the kid who's playing fucking what's his face in Spider-Man 2. We were just talking about it. He looks so
Osborn?
fucking yeah.
Oh yeah.
So creepy.
Well, that's him. Yeah, he's amazing. He's in everything now.
Man.
Here, scroll down. Look at this kid. He's in all kinds of good shit now.
Chronicle. I did see him in that. That shit was badass.
I never saw it.
Yeah, we should watch that. That's a great superhero movie.
I don't know who he is in Metallica Through the Never, but probably not.
Metallica Amped for IMAX.
Lincoln, Place Beyond the Pines, Lawless. I mean, that's a good list right there.
Chronicle, True Blood, the show.
True Blood. Dip.
Dane DeHaan, he's really good. I'm excited to see him in the new Spider-Man because he looks so fucking creepy.
Yeah.
I get him all white-faced.
Mm.
And he's playing the Green Goblin. Anyway, Lawless. Yeah, it's basically about a group of bootleggers, three brothers who go up against the new Johnny Law gangster guy who comes in and says, "You're gonna fucking go through me and pay me, or you're not doing it anymore." And it's loosely based on a true story. The grandson of the youngest brother. Actually, Nick Cave helped do the screenplay for this. Nick Cave and the Bad Seeds. And Nick Cave has done a lot of work with this. John Hillcoat, who's the actual director of it. This movie came out in 2012. And Shia LaBeouf is fucking great in this goddamn movie. And Tom Hardy's good in everything he does. But
this is probably my favorite Tom Hardy role. I just
think so?
Yeah, he just scares the shit out of me in this movie. I love it. I mean, I left this movie and I was like, man, Tom Hardy.
Oh, I wanted to fucking tell you, I didn't get the clip. God damn it, I wish I could play this clip. Because it's so much better hearing the person say it himself. But I've been holding on to this for like 3 weeks. You told me to watch this movie. Anyway, I saw an interview with Tom Hardy and he said that he got his character from the granny in Tweety Bird. That's who he styled his character on, which is fucking weird.
That's pretty out there.
Yeah, he said that it's just like the motherly instinct that his character has is like he styled his character from the Tweety Bird granny.
Yeah.
So fucking weird. What a fucking great actor. to pull.
That's a reach.
Yeah.
He probably made that shit right up.
No, he fucking was serious. And the
like
dude
a year later.
Guy Pearce was sitting next to him, and he was like, "What are you talking about?" and he went in and explained it. Like, this is what I mean, and that's why.
I'll be damned.
Yeah, so I thought that was a cool little tiny tidbit.
Because I don't think of him as motherly, but, you know, I guess if you think about it that way, he sure could be.
He's motherly. He's, like, taking care of the whole family. They don't have any parents. Like, he has to become, like, the matriarch of the family. Like,
I mean, yeah, but it's like, when I watched the movie, I sure didn't. I just felt more like this is just like the Green Beret in the group. Like, this guy is a fucking stone cold killer.
Yeah, he was insane.
Like those brass knuckles where he just ruins that guy at the beginning. I mean, god damn. I love it.
Everyone should watch this movie. This fucking, we're gonna give a lot of shit away, probably spoilers, but when he gets his fucking throat slit,
holy
you don't
shit.
fucking see that. I did not see that coming at all. Just out of fucking nowhere, dude slices his throat open.
Yeah.
And apparently that's one of the things that actually fucking happened. Like, that's one of the true. There's a few little true bits, and it seems like all the good shit was actually true, which is really rare. Like, there's a shootout at a bridge. There wasn't as many
and
people shooting, you know,
to Chicago.
But yeah, it was a fucking great movie all around. Usually a movie like this would not interest me, kind of like you said. But knowing who's in it really makes it worth seeing. And the director's fucking great director.
They didn't pull any punches either, man. It's not like, you know, a lot of prohibition-y kind of movies just like talk, and they focus so much on just creating rednecks that they don't tell a story. And not that this one has a lot of story, but it's just the scenes are powerful.
I don't know,
the music's
it goes
beautiful.
Through quite like at least over 10 years it goes through.
But I mean, I guess they're not doing anything like. The bad guys do something mean to them. They do something like horrifying back, and then finally they just kill the bad guy at the end. You know what I mean? It's, there's a little character development, like Shia LaBeouf's character, really.
The two love story angles are really good. I love the way that they didn't just, you know, the whole building of what's her face, Tom Hardy and
Jessica Chastain.
Jessica Chastain's little love story just was took so long. But it worked really well with how his character is. He's like, I can't worry about that right now. Yeah. And he's like really down home, probably doesn't really know how to deal with a woman.
Mm-hmm. And you probably love their sex scene because they were both like wearing goddamn long sleeve pajamas and socks, and they get into bed and they're all covered.
You know, it's more implied. I prefer it.
Yeah, you didn't have to get uncomfortable.
I don't like sex scenes in movies. I think we already went over this.
You know, I feel like that's like saying I don't like violence in movies. Like
I don't know why. I really don't. It's probably something.
I mean, there's good scenes and bad scenes, like anything else. You know.
It's just I don't know.
No. You gotta know. You need to identify. That's your homework this week. You need to figure out
why.
Yeah. You can't stop there. I mean, we need to bring like a therapist on the show and like really dive into this. But
maybe it goes back to me, like the reason why we're gonna psychoanalyze me now.
All right.
Let's get into this.
We need a sound clip for when we're gonna psychoanalyze. When we're really gonna just go deep.
Okay.
When do we go deep?
My foray into film, what really got me into film, I'm guessing here. Maybe this is where it comes from. My real love of film came out of watching horror movies, and the reason why I got into horror movies was because I just wanted to see some titties. Okay, so what can you watch just to see titties? Fucking old horror movies, really crappy, bad B horror movies, all the Nightmare on Elm Street,
naked all the time.
Yeah, so I get drawn in by just wanting to see some fucking tits as a young lad. What is that? Do you have any more beers in there? Or do you only bring up 4?
I brought 4.
So I get into these movies, just see tits. I start to really enjoy the movies and I've always really liked movies, you know, but start to really like watching movies and once you see a couple tits in a movie, and there's only going to be like so many tits in a movie. You're sitting through the whole movie. I'm not fast forwarding just to see the tits and then going to get another movie. So I'm watching like countless movies, just because I used to go stay at my grandmother's house, and she lived in Havana, small town outside of where we live, and there was a video store right next door. So I used to go stay the summer over there, and I probably watched every horror film they had in that store. So I mean, like, movie after movie after movie. So through that, I fell in love with movies, and maybe in my mind, it shifted to where the sex, when you start to really watch a movie, and you realize that this sex scene, especially in old horror movies, it's just like they wrote a bunch of death scenes and sex scenes and then built a movie around it, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So maybe somewhere in my mind I'm like, we don't really need these sex scenes. You know what I mean? So I'm like, I'd rather watch, you start to focus on like directing, and you start to focus on special effects. And special effects, violence has, if violence done well in a movie, you still have good special effects, good cinematography, good directing, good. The focus is a lot more on that, somehow in my mind, than in just shooting two people having sex. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Yes, and the cinematography still can be good, and the lighting can still be
Direction
good.
and acting.
But it's just still like, I don't know.
Well, the priority then was get a bunch of tits on screen, exploit that, and then exploit violence.
Yeah, but
exploit violence. But it's like porn. Porn could be really good, but it's not, because they don't direct it well. They might do good cinematography, but
there is a genre for an arena of that, an area of that in pornography.
It's growing.
There used to be a lot more, but now it dwindled straight down to
the internet. Yeah.
On the internet, definitely. Yeah. It's like, just, I want to see a fist and ass. Fist and ass, thank you. All right, we're done.
Disgusting. That's true. Yeah. Well, again, though, I think that's kind of the problem. But, in those scenes, I don't think it's not like those were, oftentimes those weren't good movies. But it's like, you could do a bunch of blood, and all you had to see was some titties. Because you weren't, as a 13-year-old kid, that was the other thing, like, it didn't really matter what they did with the tits.
Exactly.
You know what
I mean, they're covered in blood and
there.
getting slashed up. You have to watch it just up to that point where they get stabbed straight through, or else you're a fucking weirdo.
Try to pause it while they're skinny dipping and the nipples are out of the water. I didn't do that.
Why would anyone ever do such a thing?
But I think there's other movies where they put a lot of the emphasis on making the sex scene good, and I think that makes a good sex. I just think it's been a low priority forever, and hopefully that's something changing. Shame, I talked about. I don't know if you watched that one, the Fassbender movie. Probably not.
No, I have not watched it yet.
But that's a movie where it's a lot about sex and not about violence, which is different from every other movie, with great exception. But I felt like sex scenes in that, each one means a lot. They mean a lot, for better or worse. Blue is the warmest color, I feel, is like that. I don't like
watching movies that are just based around sex. I'm not saying that I don't know why. I don't enjoy watching them.
Sure. Like what?
A movie like you said, a movie like Shame.
Well, we'll see it. It's a meaningful movie about sex. It's not a movie about like people dating and having sex, which is a lot of other ones. It's a meaningful movie. It's a very powerful movie.
Okay.
Very good. And Fassbender and Carey Mulligan are lights out.
Lights out.
Lights out.
All right, dog.
So we're doing a new award that we just came up with. And you ready for this? We're gonna do best.
Are you ready for this? No.
I'd play it, except you'll freak out again, like somebody's gonna sue us.
I was curious about, because I was listening to Ari Shaffir's a really good stand-up comedian I like, and he has a podcast called Skeptic Tank. Ari Shaffir's Skeptic Tank. It's really good, but he always plays like copyrighted music, and he's had a show forever now.
Yeah.
And he has sponsors and everything, and it's just really weird to me. And every other podcast I've ever listened to, they freak out. It's like, we can't play that, don't play that. We have sponsors, blah blah blah. We can't. But it's just weird. So maybe I'll look into it.
Sure.
More, because that'll open us up for bands. We have some bands we're gonna play towards the end of the show too, but that'll open us up if You know, like if he can get away with it.
You know what
and
happens?
He's got fucking mad followers, mad listener base.
Sure.
Like,
Well, they want to hear good stuff and see good stuff, and you know, like to
well,
have a good product.
He does it like intros and outros kind of thing.
Yeah.
Not like we're gonna listen to this whole song. So maybe there's some loophole.
It's not
where,
like a radio play.
Yeah.
No, I'm sure. Well, I mean, you could probably put at the end like, you know, this band, this song, or you know what I mean. I'm sure you can do a little something. But you know what happens, and I'm not trying to be out of line, but as I understand it, you know, if it draws attention to something wrong, you know, they can send you a cease and desist or whatever. You know, they'll say, don't do that, and we can stop. I mean, we would have no problem doing that. But like I was thinking of, you know, using like number 12, like. So they have some really like pretty cool, like where it's not just chaos, but where they're doing like a really beautiful strip of, you know, a song with a cool beat. That would be great for something like that. But I you know, it's hard for me to imagine they would be like, whoa, you guys with 3 listeners on your podcast, you know, what are you doing? You know,
how fucking dare you?
You know, and if so, I mean, we would respect that.
You're misrepresenting our medals.
Yeah. They need to get back together. Like
yes, they do. I would never listen to another band again.
So we just added an award. It will not work only for the superhero showdown of Bracketron, but best nude scene.
Yeah, that's good.
That's
best
a good
nude
one.
Scene. Well, you mean best nude scene or best sex scene? Because best nude scene could just be like
nudity.
Hottest chick.
Basically
or
that's
it could
what
be
it
the best looking dude.
Could be best looking dude.
Is fucking Ryan Gosling in any of these movies?
Yeah, I'm gonna pick him.
Fucking asshole.
Fassbender.
That goddamned asshole.
Pretty good looking man.
The look on your face. You're just imagining it like.
No, and sex scene we can do later.
Yeah, nude scene's good.
Yeah. I mean, you could do a Bracketron for sex scenes. That'd be a great Bracketron.
That's too much, dude. Jesus fucking Christ, the amount of movies.
Well, you don't have to watch the whole movie for a sex scene. You can just watch the sex scene. It's different.
Yeah, but the amount of movies that have sex scenes in them?
It's not like we haven't seen them all.
We've seen every movie that had a sex scene in.
Well, we're not going to do every movie. We're going to do 16 good ones, and then...
That's too... But I mean, that's
what's not on there? Top Gun.
Fucking Top Gun.
That sex scene was like the definitive sex scene.
I don't even remember.
That's when they're like silhouette. They're
only
like licking each other's chins and foreheads.
Really?
It's super. It's a gruesome sex scene.
Oh, did you watch fucking? I'd rather do worse sex scenes. If we're gonna do a fucking Bracketron for it, why'd I do the worst fucking sex scene?
It's been done. That's the only reason.
Oh, really? Well, I mean, best sex scene too. I mean, superhero movies is probably been done.
We can do worse, but we have to cross off Showgirls and Top Gun because those were the two winners.
I've got one for you, Bill, and it's gonna take.
What is it?
It's gonna win. I'm telling you, that fucking Argento's Dracula.
Oh yeah.
It is the worst fucking sex scene I've ever seen in a movie, and I've seen, like I just went through describing. I've seen.
You've hunted those puppies down.
Every fucking 80s horror film there is, almost.
Here, tell you what, I'm gonna get another beer. You want to play a song?
You might. Yeah, I'll go ahead and play a song. We picked 2 songs.
Which beer do you want?
I'd rather have one of the Babas.
Okay.
The Baba Ganoush. We got a track by Pharaoh Lux, really fucking good group, and we got a track by a band called Reverie. I'm gonna play this track by Pharaoh Lux. They are. I don't have their fucking Facebook up, but I do believe they are from Florida. Pharaoh Lux. Come on, guys. It's coming. It's happening. Pharaoh Lux. You can find him on Facebook.com/Pharaoh Lux Music. FEROLUX. The track that I have to play is called courtship thing. I don't know. I just pulled this track. We didn't have any group. We didn't have any. Oh, they're from Broward or Dade, Florida. They're from Florida, South. We didn't have any music, and I already had this from the previous, like one of the first episodes of the podcast before we went vidya. But here it is, a track by Pharaoh Lux. Shut your mouth. Shut your mouth. Pharaoh Lux, here it is, guys.
What do you think about that song, Raymond?
I enjoy it. I like it. I like the way it goes quiet and then comes back really loud.
Raymond is revisiting a conversation from a moment ago.
He was complaining about how he didn't like how it goes quiet and then comes back.
I feel like it's sort of, you know what it is? It's not, I'm not knocking them.
Yeah.
I think that's a convenient plot device for a lot of like kind of heavy bands right now, is that just, you know, like peel everything away. And the Chariot is the band I think of right away, and the Chariot is so good at what they do. And I feel like when the Chariot came out, I felt like I'd never heard anything like them before.
Oh yeah, definitely. And now there's a lot of, well, that's gonna happen with anything good though.
There's a lot of people who sound a lot like them, but and I'm not saying you shouldn't be dynamic. I think it's essential to be dynamic, but kind of that just slow everything down and just you know it.
The slurge.
Yeah, a little bit of that. So anyway, there's a lot of that in that song. I felt like the last 75% of that song was that.
Well, the song's like split almost in half the way they did it. It's pretty straightforward hardcore almost, and then it has that really slow, like almost kind of reminds me of like not Stone Temple Pilots, fucking Smashing Pumpkins. They'll be loud and then like really soft, to have a soft part with singing or whatever. Yeah. And then it has that sludgy part, so it's kind of like split right down the middle with that Smashing Pumpkins bit.
Yeah, I love, you know, I think the Pumpkins, you know, they were very dynamic, but I mean, it was very...
Yeah.
I mean, there was a lot of music going on, you know.
A lot of music going on.
Harps and triangles and, you know, classical guitar. There are a lot of things going on in their soft spot, typically. But anyway, it's not a knock on Feral Luck. I mean, I think they're great. I think they're heavy. Band. I love that. I think they're pretty enjoyable listening.
Facebook, feralluxmusic.com.
I feel like that would be a great live show. You know.
Yeah, apparently.
Did we see them? Or
I think I never
saw
them. Seen, but that's all that Brandon. That's one of the bands that Brandon.
Yeah,
really
I saw them. I saw them with Carnivores in Boynton Beach, and their show was killer.
Yeah,
I mean, it was very enjoyable. Good players. They had a great drummer. I think their bassist was really good. We saw them in this little like shithole in Boynton Beach.
What Feral Luck song was that? Brandon asks. I don't know. Hopefully this doesn't crash my shit looking for it. Can't remember what the name of it was.
We're not doing a good job showcasing it.
Well, Say It Like Pacino. That track was called Say It Like Pacino, which is a fucking great title for a song.
That's a pretty good name.
I'll text Brandon right now and let him know what track that was, because he said he couldn't watch till the end.
Uh-oh.
Say It Like Pacino. Alright, cool. Do you want to talk about anything else, or you want to go straight to the next song and kind of wrap it up? Because we've been going for almost 2 hours now.
Oh yeah, let's wrap it up.
Alright, we're going to play this other track then. This next track is by a band called Reverie. That's another pretty good band that Mr. Brandon from Carnivores at Grace. When I haven't told the story on this version of the podcast yet. I said, I'm going to be playing music on my podcast. What are some bands? And he's constantly on tour with good bands, so he gave me a slew of bands to listen to and showcase to all you kind gentlemen and ladies. So Reverie is another one of those bands that he's played with. You might have actually played with him. Old Bradley over here used to be drummer in Carnivores of Grace, Brandon's band. So Reverie, I don't know. You might recognize the sound once I start the song.
Yeah, I'd have to hear him.
All right, so we're gonna play this track by Reverie called something or else. I'm not sure. It's off the Shots Fired split. I'll find the track name in the meantime.
Shots Fired is a pretty good name too.
Shots Fired. Here we go. Reverie. It'd be great if I could turn the mics on. I was talking. Both of our mics were off. They're on. You're up. It's the last 2 minutes of the podcast. No big deal. You're the worst.
You're the worst.
There you are. He's on.
It's exclusive if you're the worst. We can't both be the worst.
I thought it went well. I had a good time. Right. Thanks for joining us. Thanks, guys. Thanks for listening and watching. Every Saturday. We haven't nailed down an exact time yet, but we're going to be here at YouTube from now on, not on fucking Twitch TV. So, yeah.
Also, Tim and Eric. Bye. Thanks. Thanks. Thank you. Thanks. You know what I'm talking about? They do that like 4 times an episode. Is that a t-shirt? The Reverie t-shirt?
Yeah, that's a t-shirt. That's their merch table. We're looking at the fucking
Video
delayed
from 2 minutes ago.
video response on the actual broadcast. Anyway.
They sound kind of like Fucked Up. You ever listen to Fucked Up? It's like
No.
a hardcore punk band.
No. I heard of it. I used to like a band called the Crucifix.
Okay.
This is like one of my favorite. Combi Christ.
Yeah. No, they were good though. I like them.
Millions of Dead Cops.
Yeah.
All those punk bands.
Yeah. DOA.
Years. Yeah, so every Saturday we will be posting on the Facebook page the link to where you can find us, or just tune in on YouTube. We'll be here live, Bills.
Okay, hang on.
Oh, we're on Stitcher Radio now. Fucking Stitcher. We're on there. Well, we have links and stuff. Just find us on Stitcher Radio. Who fucking cares? It's pretty awesome. And we're waiting for a confirmation verification email about our iTunes account as well. So hopefully we'll be on iTunes by next week. So
yeah, that'd be pretty great.
We're gonna be everywhere, guys.
Okay, hang up now, Cinco.
Calm down.
We're done. We're done.
That's it? You're just trying to end it. You don't want to say bye and like.
No, we said bye like 4 times. It's been 4 minutes of goodbye.
Promote the fucking show, you goddamn asshole.
If they're listening, they already know about the show.
Yeah, but maybe this is the first episode that they've ever heard. You have to think about that.
I'm thinking about it, so they found us.
Every single time, it might be the first time they've ever heard, so they have to know how to find us. Right? Did you see me do that?
They don't have to know how to find us because they found us.
They have to know. Shut up, God! You're so fucking.
I'm
aggravated.
so goddamn right. This fortune favors the just.
The bold bitch.
That ain't right at all.
All right.
Half-assed philosopher.
All right, guys. That's it. This fucking asshole over here.
Raymond just shit on my cooking.
I didn't.
You shit all over my cooking, which is just unacceptable.
I just.
Hey, see, look, we're waving goodbye now, ladies and gentlemen. Our video feed is like 3 minutes delayed, and we're waving goodbye like a long time ago.
I'm turning you down.
That's cheating.
You're going down.
That's cheating.
I'm gonna play the intro. I gotta play the intro you hate so much.
Why do you play the intro?
It's an outro too. What's unacceptable?
You can't play the intro for the outro.
It's just a tro. It's not. It's a multi-purpose tro. I do it every fucking time. Look at this guy. This guy over here just giving me shit.
You look great.
All right.